Tony, can we talk about while we're really here? Because we're here to cover something that I know you're pretty fired up about. I guess we should give the backstory here. When I first started putting together Starrcast, I sent you a potential lineup of shows, and I had some maybes in there. And the maybes were basically, hey, if I can't get this show on the lineup put together because one of the parties can't make it, here are the backup shows. And there was a show listed as a backup, and you called me and campaigned and said, that should not be on the backup. That should be on the main stage. That is a big time show, and you should do it. And I want to do it. And it was the I Quit match with Tully Blanchard and the one and only Magnum TA. And it went down in 1985, and you're going to be on stage with them at Starrcast. And it was your idea today to go all the way back to November 2nd, 1985. And this is going to be NWA World Championship Wrestling. And the description says the rivalry between Tully Blanchard and Magnum TA takes an unexpected turn, plus Ric Flair, the Rock and Roll Express, and more. You're fired up about this panel. Am I right?
I'm fired up about it. And I was trying to reason why, what made me so fired up about it. And then I've watched the show, and then I got to thinking, Conrad, that we debuted Jim Crockett Promotions in April of 85. So this was the first year that we were on TBS. So we were heading to our biggest event after being on TBS for the very first year. And even though Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair and the Gathering and and you'll see in this Dusty Rhodes gimmick boot and his broken foot or whatever, to me, the feature match to this Starrcade 85 Gathering was Tully Blanchard versus Magnum TA, which was such a great rivalry. And it was one of the most bloody, most violent matches ever. And I thought, it should be part of Starrcast. It shouldn't be, maybe one that we put in there if something else doesn't happen. And they both agreed to it. And man, we're going to go back and take a look at this. This show had a lot of shit going on. I know you and I have done World Championship Wrestling shows before where they have sucked. And there's a lot about this that sucked, but there was a lot about this that was heading towards Starrcade. And boy, this is a great, they're going to finally make this, during the show, they're going to finally make this match an I Quit match. And you can see why Tully didn't want to have it. He thought he didn't have to wrestle Magnum again. You're going to see an angle with Magnum and a baby doll. Just some good shit, man. Some good shit. And of course, a Nature Boy Ric Flair interview thrown in there as well. And Abdullah the Butcher. Oh my God, Abdullah the Butcher's in this show too. So how about that?
Tony, we're done. We finished it. What did you think?
Well, I think it was as wrestling goes back in the day, it was a great lead-in show with a lot of stuff about the upcoming event. And I thought it was a great lead-in show. I mean, you weren't about, back in the day, and you know this, back in those days, you weren't about having competitive matches on TV. You were about telling the stories and about the interviews and about the angles. And I think we did a good job with that. And we lit up, so to speak, pushed hard the I Quit match, which became one of the most famous matches really of all time. If you think about the great matches of Starrcade.
And I'm excited about it. We're going to get to revisit it at Starrcast. I know it's the panel you're looking forward to the most. You're also going to be in there with Sting. And, when we spend a lot of time working on Starrcast this weekend, it is like nostalgia overdose. It's right up your alley, is it not?
Yes, it is. It's what I'm all about, man. It goes back and reminds me of back. Well, shit, man. It reminds me back when it was fucking real. And I say that, and of course it wasn't, but to fans it was. So it was a different time. And to me, it was real too. It was just real. And we're never going to go back to those days. So I'm glad that we can revisit those days and remember those days together at a place like Starrcast. So I'm excited about it.